Welcome to at&t Uverse Buzz, where we give you an inside look at your favorite shows, as well as preview some of the great programming and features available to you through at&t Uverse. I'm Kristin Adams, and today we're at the world-famous Hurst Castle, an architectural phenomenon that encompasses history, pop culture, and the arts. Watch as I get an official 1930s makeover with the help of the nonprofit Friends of Hurst Castle. I'll go back to the 1930s, Hollywood's golden age, to check out the etiquette and fashion of that time. I love you, Hurst Castle! In addition to showing you the incredible sights of Hurst Castle, we're also giving you an inside look at Wealth TV. It's a 24/7 HD network right here on at&t Uverse that's devoted to taking viewers through the journey of how wealth is achieved, used, and enjoyed, much like we're doing today. Plus, we'll sit down with Wealth TV producer and host Graham Sheldon to hear about the network's latest programming, including the docuseries Focal Point. But first, let's learn a little more history about this modern-day castle on the hill in San Simeon, California. Time now to chat with Museum Director Hoyt Fields to find out more about this magnificent place, Hurst Castle. So for those that have never been here, what makes this place so special?
It is one of 6 homes of media mogul William Randolph Hearst. Was given to the state of California in 1957.
Now, is it true that this castle, as big as it is and as expansive as it is, only represented 5% of his wealth?
Actually, it represented 10% of the art that he purchased.
I mean, he essentially, he was born into money, but he amassed an incredible amount of wealth and kept it in the family and did a lot with what he had, yes? Well,
his first entree into the newspaper business was a gift from Dad, which was the San Francisco Examiner. And from there, he eventually owned 41 newspapers. I mean, 1 in 4 Americans read a Hearst publication. The power that he had to sway electoral votes from the state of California to elect FDR.
I mean, incredible.
He had tremendous power. You can imagine if you received an invitation to come to the ranch, where he came as a boy. Mom and Dad, they would set up tents, and they would camp here. After Mom passed away in 1919, he wrote to his architect, Julia Morgan, "We're tired of camping in tents." This man's 56 years old. He has 5 sons. "We're tired of camping in tents. Let's build a little something here at San Simeon." 28 years later, look at this magnificent estate.
What types of people would come visit Hurst Castle?
Well, you had an eclectic group of individuals. You had the founder of the world's largest bank, APG&E, Bank of America. You had Cary Grant. You had Charlie Chaplin.
That's amazing.
You had Dolores Del Rio, Carol Lombard. You had Winston Churchill, George Bernard Shaw, President Calvin Coolidge. If you were someone, you were invited to the ranch.
So give me an overview of Hurst Castle and how big it is.
The estate is built on 127 acres. There are 3 guest houses and the main house, Casa Grande. About 90,000 square feet in the main house. We have 14 living rooms, 2 libraries, a kitchen, a theater, and then in the main house itself, 38 bedrooms.
Well, Hoyt, let's get this party started. Let's tour Hurst Castle.
Okay.
Where are we going first?
We're going to go visit the assembly room.
Sounds fun. Well, Hoyt, this is some impressive living room.
It really is. One of 14 living rooms here in the main house.
Only 14?
Just 14.
Thought this guy was rich.
The
main sort of theme and design of this room, where did the designer start?
Well, Julia Morgan selected the ceiling, which is 16th century Italian, the 16th century Flemish tapestries, the 400-year-old mantle over mantle fireplace from France, the Thorvaldsen medallions that weigh over a ton apiece, the dimensions of the room, 30 by 80 by 25, a little over 2,500 square feet just in this assembly room.
And what's the most valuable thing in here?
I would say for this room, probably the Canova's Venus. Carved in 1810 would be your most important and valuable piece.
And this is essentially the first room people see when they enter the home. There's so many places to sit. It's almost like every time you come in, you could have a different experience in here.
You really could. It was all about visual appeal and comfort.
I hate to leave this room because it's so gorgeous, but where are we off to next?
We're going into the dining room.
Let's do that. It sounds like there might be food in there.
All right.
So wait, this is the dining room.
The refectory.
I mean, the refectory. Why is it called the refectory?
It's a dining room. This is where all meals were taken.
I know, but we don't call them refectories now.
I know, but it's a monastery dining room.
Oh, okay. It sounds much nicer, too.
Yeah.
I'm going to start calling my dining room that.
Okay.
And just see if it takes effect.
Yeah.
This is not your typical dining room because I see flags hanging. I see a mace, which I want to know why there's a mace in the dining room. And I see ketchup and mustard on the table.
This was where William Randolph Hearst came as a boy, and they camped. So everything in its store-bought container. Paper napkins, no tablecloths. Very narrow tables to engage in better conversation.
And tell me about the mace.
It's a symbol of authority. It sat right behind where Mr. Hurst would sit at the table.
So wait, where to now?
We're going to go to the man's bedroom, Mr. Hurst's Gothic suite.
Okay, all right. I'm interested about the Gothic part of it.
Okay.
What is that about? So this is the bedroom?
Really modest for the opulence of the estate, isn't it?
Really modest. I was expecting to walk into some huge room with like massive windows to see the Pacific Ocean.
But you don't need that just to have a place to sleep.
No.
He had it everywhere but here.
Okay.
And then we have photographs of Mom and Dad flanking the bed. Phoebe Apperson, his mother, George Hurst, his father.
So this was definitely more of a personal room for him.
Very, very personal. In a little bit, I'm going to take you up to an area that's no longer on tour, kind of an exclusive look.
Did you say exclusive look?
Yeah, we're going to, okay, let's go.
This is the exclusive part of our tour that you were telling me about. This part of the castle is not on a regular Hearst Castle tour.
It's no longer on tour. We're in the Celestial Suite, so we're in the bell towers.
I like that. We're in the bell towers. I feel like a prince is going to come rescue me. And up here, there are obviously very high-priced paintings.
Very, very valuable paintings. These are very unique paintings in the collection.
What is this one, and what makes it so valuable?
Well, here we have Napoleon at Cairo, and this was painted in 1869, and the artist is Gérôme. And then across the room here, we have its companion, and this is Napoleon at the Sphinx. This was, again, this was painted about 1865 by Gérôme.
So roughly, what are these paintings worth today?
Conservatively, the value of each of them is $16 million.
$16 million?
$16 million.
That is incredible. We are surrounded by $16 million. Only in two paintings.
In two paintings, in one room.
In one room?
We have 165 rooms here.
I am not a math major, but that is a lot of money.
Yes.
Hoyt, thank you so much for giving us this exclusive look at the castle. We really appreciate it. We'll see you later in the show.
Looking forward to it. Thank you.
Now, everything that Hearst Castle represents, like travel, art, and sheer luxury, is also available right here on UVerse in the form of a 24-hour network. You can find Wealth TV and their abundance of good programming on channel 470 and 1470 in HD. Coming up, we'll see much, much more of Hearst Castle and meet Wealth TV's most adventurous personality.